Hi everyone, it's Lisa Brown with InkandInspirations.com, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in the United States. And in this video, I am using the Flowering Cactus stamp set that's included in the Flowering Cactus product medley in the mini catalog. It's this darling cactus stamp set with coordinating papers and dies with these beautiful copyrighted images from Stampin' Up! But I wanted to change it up a little bit and use the stamp set in a different color scheme because I found this little kitchen towel with cactus on it, and I had to do a little hostess gift type that I've done before, but I wanted to pull some colors from here that I could use where I fold it up and make a little presentation with it, okay, to leave as a thank you gift. So I looked at the little image here and I pulled some colors that I'll tell you what Stampin' Up! Shades I'm using as I go along. So let's get started. I went through all of my designer papers and I picked that first. And so I found the Artistry Blooms Designer Series paper from the Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog, and I cut a piece of that, and I decided to go ahead and back it with one of the greens here, and I decided Granny Apple Green went really well. And here we have some oranges and pinks that I thought would go well with the little flowers and the pots. And so, and of course, I'm going to have to throw in a little bit of Pacific Point, and I'll show you how I do that in a minute. So let's get started with this. This is 2 by 5, and I got that measurement. I measured the towel, and I wanted to make like a little tag here, all right? And then I cut the designer paper 1 3/4 by 4 3/4 so that I can layer that on top. So let's go ahead and do that first. So I'm going to use some seal. You could use our liquid glue, and I will use that later on here to make it a little easier to position something. So I'm just going to place that over top of that Granny Apple Green where I have a border all the way around the edge. Okay, so that's going to layer just like that. Okay, let's work on our main image now. I'm going to use a piece of basic white cardstock, and I'm going to stamp this cactus. Now you see it already has ink on it, but let me show you what I did. I wanted 2 shades, so I decided to go with Garden Green and Granny Apple Green. And so I'm going to open the Garden Green first and get a sponge dauber and dab that up, and then I'm going to dab that directly to the stamp here. Okay, then let's go ahead and switch to the Granny Apple Green and get some of that color on this other sponge dauber and just go over the top part of the cactus. Okay, and if you overlap colors, that is perfectly fine. All right, so now I'm just going to stamp this image on the basic white. Okay, and so you see how I have that 2-tone green, and then I can just use that coordinating die and cut it with my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. But to save a little bit of time, I've already done that. So I have that ready. So let me show you what's next. I know that I want that mounted up here, okay? And I want a sentiment that says thank you here. So I chose this one from the Happy Thoughts stamp set. This is also in the Stampin' Up! Mini catalog. And I stamped it on a 3/4 inch wide or tall piece of basic white. And I just cut a long strip so that I can play with it and see how long I want to cut it. And so I'm going to want to layer that just like that, okay? And so let me clean my hand a bit before I make a big mess. And then we're going to cut this so that it fits. And so I'll leave a little bit here that I can tuck underneath. And I'm going to leave a little over here. And let's see. I think that will be fine. I'm going to cut a little more off of this edge. And you can, depending on what sentiment you choose, you can, depends on your length there, of course. But I like to just cut that strip once I know the positioning on my little tag, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put this down. And this time I'm going to use liquid glue. And put that right there. Kind of center it top to bottom. Then this is going to go here, but I'm going to use Stampin' Dimensionals to pop that up a little bit. Okay, let's pull the paper off. So I've made these little hostess gift towels many times before, and it's just a cute little easy gift. And if you can coordinate your images and your sentiment or the colors to the towel, it just makes for a great little presentation. Okay, we have that. Now let's bring the towel in. It's going to go just over the bottom like this. Now to attach it, what I like to do is I take a hole punch, and I'm just using an old crocodile here, and I'm going to slide that there and punch in the center. And this is to thread the ribbon through. Now, granted, you could go ahead and punch those before you ever put your image and your sentiment on, but I kind of like to see where everything's going to be before I do that. And I'll pop this up on dimensionals purposely so that I could slide that hole punch underneath there, okay? So that's going to go like that. I'm just going to take some simple seam binding ribbon. I want my bow to tie over here, okay? So I'm going to slide this through from the front, and I don't want it to go over the tag this time. There may be times that you want it to, but this time I want just the image and the sentiment to show. And I've got it backwards that I said I wanted it, so let me do it like, let's see. If I do this like this, it's going to tie on this side, which I guess won't be a bad thing. Let's just go with it. If I wanted it to tie on this left side, I would have started threading it over here. But I made a sample earlier, and this is how I did it, so I liked it, so let's go ahead and do it the same. I like to leave plenty of ribbon here, okay, and you can just pull and adjust, and it's still on the bolt so that I can be sure and have plenty. So that's why I'm not giving you the measurement. It's much easier just to cut it after you see how much you need. Okay, so this is a good way to attach the tag to the towel without actually gluing or anything like that, and not causing any damage to the towel. So here I'm just going to tie a nice little bow on the side, and then I can trim off the edge. And then I have one more little embellishment that we're going to add. Get this tied and trim this. Okay, so now in the flowering cactus medley, there are these felt flowers, cactus flowers. And so I chose this Calypso Coral one. There are also some Highland Heather die cut felts. And, you know, I want to add that to this. Let me see. I want to get another one here and do this, a smaller one, a larger one. Well, the color is not exactly what I wanted. So what I decided to do is take some ink in a color that would work. And I've got pumpkin pie here to kind of go with that orange. And so I'm just going to take this and put it face down, both of these on the ink pad. And then I'm just going to get something that I don't mind if it gets ink on, and that I can clean it later. So let me just get Let me get one of my Stampin' blends. I can clean that off. And I'm just going to tap that on like this. And I'm getting color onto that other side of the little blossom. Okay, so let me lift these up and see what we have. All right. That added a little more color, so could also use a sponge dauber, but I'm just going to press it a little harder there and hope that I don't make a mess with ink on my fingers. All right, let's get this going. Let's see. And I do this last because I have found the best way to adhere these felt pieces is to use liquid glue, and you have to let it sit and dry for a bit. So I've got that. I'm happy with how that looks. So let me go ahead and get our liquid glue. And I put a pretty generous dot there. And then I am just going to let that sit for a while. And then it'll be ready to give as a gift. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll give that a try. If you have questions, let me know. Visit my website at inkandinspirations.com, where you can find more ideas, and let me know if I can help you with anything. Take care. Bye-bye.